This is the Nightshade Cult, a podcast macabre.
We bid you welcome. Enter freely and of your own will.
I'm Nick Grimm.
And I'm David Graves.
We will be your horror hosts for this dissection of S. Craig Zahler's 2015 revisionist Western horror, Bone Tomahawk.
Good evening. This is a really unexpected movie, honestly. It's 10 years old, but I'd never heard of it or seen it. Well, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, I had never seen it, and in my mind, it had sort of transposed itself with True Grit in some way. The 2010 Coen Brothers remake of True Grit. I think... that
was a good movie.
Yes, that's a very good movie.
But this is a horror movie. Yeah, that is not.
That's just a straight up Western.
Yeah.
No, and so I was aware of this movie and aware that it was generally well regarded, but I had never seen it, and 10 years on, it had just sort of slipped away. But you've been on kind of this Western kick lately because of some projects you're working on, and some of the cultists said that we should check this out, and it just seemed like a good time to do it.
Yeah, I was not sure. I thought to myself, is this a Nightshade Cult movie?
Yeah.
But I trusted your instincts, and having watched it, hell yeah, it is. Yeah. This is dark.
It is.
It's a lot darker than some of the things we've watched.
Yeah, and it's probably 2/3 a straight up Western, 1/3 horror.
Yeah.
But it is like brutal grindhouse horror when it gets to the horror part.
And the Western
gnarly.
And the Western part is kind of like unapologetic, violent Western, and then it gets to like straight up grindhouse horror. It's gnarly. Gnarlier than I don't normally watch that kind of horror.
Yeah. There is a particular sequence in this movie that's like full blown like Cannibal Holocaust sort of cannibal exploitation in that zone, and I was like, whoa, they're really going hard.
Absolutely. Like when I saw the cannibalism stuff, when it really got into it, and it's no longer theoretical, I was like, whoa, oh my, I was like having a hard time watching the screen, and then and my wife Carrie, she turned and she goes, I don't like you anymore. I can't believe you're playing this. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it is viscerally upsetting. Yeah, the weird. So kind of shockingly, my wife was very into this movie, but like just looked away for those segments.
She chatted to me a little bit about this movie.
She was like, she kind of was like head under the blanket, and she's like, let me know when this is over. And I was like, when they were done with poor Deputy Nick, I was like, it's done, Nick is through. And she was like, all right. And she came back
that out. That was Grim Nick, not Nick Grimm.
Oof, yeah. He caught a bad one. Poor Nick picked the wrong day for graveyard shift.
So I wasn't really, I wasn't aware of this guy, Zahler, and he's actually a dude I would like to hang out with, I think.
Yeah.
He played drums in like a grim black metal project.
Yeah.
It seems like it's still in existence. His kind of power metal, thrash metal project.
Yeah, Realm Builder.
Yeah, Realm Builder. And then what was the other one called?
Carnal Valley. Or Charnel Valley, not Carnal Valley.
Yeah, Charnel Valley. I listened to that actually a fair bit, and I liked it. It's extremely lo-fi grim black metal, which is cool.
Kind of right on the edge. It doesn't sound like blasphemy, but it made me think of blasphemy and that sort of kind of necro black metal.
Yeah, it was like blasphemy, or maybe like Ildjarn or something in that vein. Like it was more raw than like Burzum, but simple.
Yeah.
So I liked it. It's cool, not for everyone for sure.
Yeah.
And so I started looking at this guy's, he's written some really cool books that look like they'd be the sort of thing I'd want to read. And I was looking at his other movies, and I noticed like a theme through. He's directed 3 movies.
Yes,
and 3 for 3 bombs at the box office.
Is that it's interesting because they're
Bone Tomahawk, $1.8 million budget, and it grossed $475,000 in America, and the brawl in the cell block, brawl in cell block 99 was made for $4 million, and it grossed only $79,000. Oof!
Wow!
And then Dragged Across Concrete, which was his biggest budget to date, $15 million.
Yeah.
It only made $660,000 in America. This dude, it doesn't surprise me that he made 3 losers in a row.
Yeah.
And didn't get another.
As I understand, he's working on a kind of like a gothic fairy tale, like a Charles Dickens meets Tim Burton thing with a animated puppet lead character.
I'm all for it. I will watch that movie, like, because I love dark folklore.
Yeah, I think
everything this guy does is darkness. Like, he doesn't make happy things.
His financing has to be based on overseas sales and streaming.
Bone Tomahawk did as well overseas as it did in America.
Yeah. And so, and all of these movies, the weird thing is I think all these movies have been more or less critically well regarded.
Yeah, everyone seems to like these movies, but they just don't pay for them.
Yeah, they're very niche. Yes, box office isn't everything especially when it comes to like horror movies.
Yeah, unlike one of his, I like blurbs or whatever on his website, or maybe it was on Audible, looking at his books.
Yeah.
He has like a quote from Clive Barker that said, like, S. Craig Zahler will be remembered as one of the great imaginers of his generation.
Yeah.
Like, that's high praise from a really important person.
Yeah. And I think people that like him a lot.
Yeah, and he's a bit older than us, 7-8 years, something like that, and he's into like all the same stuff we're into, kind of.
Yeah, I think I'm a little dubious probably of where his politics lie, looking at the other 2 movies he did, the Brawl in the Cell Block and the Dragged Across Concrete. It's very Dragged Across Concrete, especially it's got Mel Gibson in the lead and Vince Vaughn as sort of like the co-lead of that. And it, from what I understand, it's pretty non-PC and a little sort of old man yells at cloud. Why can't I say these words if they can say these words, sort of?
Yeah, that's stuff. A little sus. He's publicly said that he's apolitical and he's art over politics, but that could also be a mask.
Yeah, we'll talk more, because this movie has some problematic things about it, too.
Oh, yes, for sure.
So, yeah, I think it's a little questionable, but the talent is undeniable.
Yeah, let's just play the music and get into the dissection.
A frontier sheriff leads a 4-man posse to rescue a young woman from a tribe of Neolithic cannibals.
Yeah, that's it. It's a very simple idea here.
Yeah, it's a classic Western trope. It's, the savages have stolen the white woman away and we need to go back and get her.
Yeah, and I'm not sure he really thought about how well that would be received, especially the depiction of the, quotes, savages.
The troglodytes?
Yeah, which they called troglodytes, which I'm not even sure I would have used that word. It's weird. It doesn't feel very Western appropriate.
It's an ancient Greek terminology for cave dwellers.
I get it, but it just didn't fit. Like when the native guy in town says, "Oh no, they're troglodytes." I was like, "Huh?"
Yeah. It didn't bump up against that. It seems very 19th century, pretending to know what you're talking about to me. And I was willing at first glance, I was willing to accept it as an explanation. These aren't Native Americans. They're not any of our recognized tribes.
Yeah.
These are subhuman monsters.
Yeah, this is like a primitive, inbred, splinter faction of weirdos.
Yeah. in all, like, I think we're intended to feel like they're not human. They are another hominid race alongside humans.
Yeah, or just like deeply depraved, lacking all humanity. But they definitely don't feel like a realistic society that could exist.
Yeah, or I mean, but just out in a cave somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Like, it is deeply problematic.
It's basically one family of weirdos.
Yeah,
like a small tribe.
What it reminded me of is like The Hills Have Eyes, like any sort of cannibal movie from the 70s. Essentially, it's like where you have these sort of mutants that they're on the fringes of society, preying on people that happen to come through their valley. Essentially,
yeah.
But yeah, it is deeply troubling, like the sort of portrayal of race and stuff in this movie. Because basically there's two, if you look up reviews of this movie and sort of discourse on it, there is two things: glowing praise and just utter condemnation. Like, either like, this is an amazing Western horror movie, or this is the most racist movie I've ever seen and I don't know how it got made. And there's really very little middle ground between the two.
I can see that. I mean, there's a lot of racist stuff, like the troglodytes don't eat black people.
Did they say that?
Yeah. That's why the stableman didn't get dragged off. He just got murdered, and why he didn't get butchered.
Yeah. And Mr. What's his name? Bruder. Mr. Bruder is an unrepentant racist, and
absolutely,
he is one of our 4 core protagonists. And although everyone comments on his racism, he is treated as a man of honor. Like, he is also respected. Like, everyone thinks that he's out of line and over the line of what's acceptable levels of bigotry in their town.
Yeah.
But they do also, everyone respects him.
Yeah, I don't know if that is shocking at all, because he's portraying the idea that his family was killed by natives when he was a boy, and so he has become an Indian hunter or whatnot. Yeah. And we know, historically speaking, there were places and times where there were bounties, and that was a thing in society. It wasn't considered an extremely aberrant thing if that was sort of a profession that you had, because it was legal in places. Yeah, and I feel like we kind of jumped right in onto the criticism, but it was sort of like, well, it should be addressed. Might as well be up front. And I do, because for the most part, I enjoy this movie quite a bit. But there is these things where the more and more I think about them, I'm like, oh, this doesn't sit well. And that is just one of them. Like, and so like with Bruder, you have there's a moment when two Mexican men approach their camp. Oh yeah, and he just guns them down. Like, they get them to disarm themselves, and then he guns them down, and everyone's really mad at him about it. But then their companions do end up stealing the horses, and he was proven right. Like, he was vindicated in his ultra violence, and that felt like what the moral message. I mean, I guess that's the thing, is I don't think this movie has a moral message. No, this is not. This is one of those ones where it's like there's a grim journey is had. It's a journey movie. It's a here to there. Yeah, an odyssey. And almost nobody survives it. And a few do, but many people die along the way. It's extremely harrowing. The big hero gets to go out in a blaze of glory, and then there's nothing to be had. It's sort of like the end of the end of the Lord of the Rings, where it's just like, okay, now Frodo and his homies all just have a bunch of PTSD, and that's the end. Yeah, Frodo is never the same. Yeah, he's just permanently changed. Sam sort of makes a life for himself, but he's also changed.
Yeah. There's no way Mrs. O'Dwyer comes away from this experience not permanently scarred.
Yeah, both of the O'Dwyers are jacked.
Yeah, because this is everything about everything that happens in this movie is horrible. But the people do possess an indomitable spirit, and sort of sense of humor through the whole thing, which makes it all bearable as a viewer.
We're talking about how horrible these themes are, but ultimately the movie was really enjoyable
and funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny parts. There's a lot of great action. Yeah. There were some great horror beats.
Yeah. And good, super well written dialogue. And this,
absolutely.
The movie is written and directed both by S. Craig Zahler.
Yeah.
And he had already written, I think, 4 Western novels before this. And when he was talking to the guy that produced it, he was talking about wanting to make a horror movie. And the guy said, we can get funding if you write a Western movie, because that's what you're a Western guy, and this will be an easier sell, essentially.
Yeah, I read a quote where he just describes the Western. He describes this movie not as a horror movie, but as a Western that gets weirder and darker as it goes along.
Yeah, and as I understand it, I haven't seen the other 2 films. Both of them are sort of character pieces in the beginning, and then the third act is filled with over-the-top brutal violence. Like that
sounds like his vibe.
That is his formula. It's like he's like, I want you to just like embed with these people and get to know them and their world and really invest in it, and then we'll watch people get ripped to shreds.
Yep, that's what happened.
That is what happens in this movie. Like when they make contact with the troglodytes, it's on from there on. Like the violence is like off the chain.
But you know these characters so well by that point, and you're invested in whoever you're invested in, the people you like or whatever. You're in there with them. You know, you have a full self insert, like you're part of the posse.
Yeah, I mean, because we have. Normally we talk about this when we get to the casting, but we've got Kurt Russell as our sheriff, Franklin Hunt. Patrick Wilson as Arthur O'Dwyer,
the husband of
the kidnapped woman.
Yeah.
Matthew Fox as John Bruder, and Richard Jenkins as the backup deputy, Chicory.
Yeah.
And we don't get a lot of exposition, like, to find out their backstory. I think the Civil War plays a part in most of their histories.
Yeah, Chicory was in the Civil War. He did some medic work there.
Yeah, and I think the sheriff was too. That's kind of the impression, that there's a reason why he's so attached to this old man.
Yeah,
He's a little bit of a bumbler.
Yeah. He's taking care of Chicory.
Yeah, because Chicory probably took care of him and many other people.
Yeah, he was probably like an older guy in the army at the time, and the sheriff was a young dude.
Yeah. And
he just, made sure he was taken care of and squared away.
And we just get this from their interactions. Like just simple things like Chicory coming he's out for a ramble around town.
Yeah.
And he comes in to the sheriff's office because he sees David Arquette's character burying some evidence.
Yeah.
And he goes to tell the sheriff. And then they sit there and eat corn chowder together and just have sort of just a fun little dialogue.
Yeah, they just have a little chat, a couple of buddies.
Yeah, and it's very sort of silly, like Chicory like burns his mouth on the soup and kind of like spits it out on the floor, and like it's almost like a comedy scene. That's followed up by a very violent scene, and was preceded by a very violent scene.
Yeah. And it's also kind of, it's sort of a comedy, but it's also kind of it's kind of a touching scene because the sheriff is really like, he's really nice to this kind of bungling guy. Because at first you're like, who is this guy and why is he like asking the sheriff for whatever he's brewing up and his coffee tastes weird? Well, it's not coffee, it's soup.
Yeah, he was like that. What does he say? He's like that tea smells frightening or something. Something like that. He's like, it's soup. And he goes, oh, well then it smells good. Yeah, and it's at first I kind of thought like, oh, this guy is like he's like the town drunk. Yeah. But then it was like you do sort of, he's a man of great character, even if he is not the most able anymore.
Yeah, he's not drunk. He's just a bungler, and that's fine because he's still helping. Like he told the sheriff about bad shit happening. He is a good backup deputy. He
ultimately is like that. It's the funny thing is I thought from the start I was like, this guy is
he's gonna die.
He's gonna die. He's a problem. He's gonna mess something up. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, he is dependable through the entire movie.
Chicory's my dude. Like he's my favorite guy going through this movie.
And it's and he's like the moral compass like of the group. He kind of wants to keep everyone on the straight and narrow, and he's a really good wingman and backup to the sheriff. Like he always
like
backs his buddy.
When the sheriff didn't get the mayor or whatever, Chicory just jumps in and is like, oh, it's because he told me to go get you and I'm old and I forgot.
Yeah.
He's just covering for his buddy.
Yeah,
just
I love
straight
that.
up.
And the mayor's wife, who clearly runs the town, and she's like, you expect me to believe that? And he's like, I'm open. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I think he's not dishonest. Like you have to, it's not like he's lying. He just plumb forgot. Yeah. You know, like this is Chicory. That's how
everybody who lives in that town has to know. He's like, he's a good guy, but don't ask him to do something if you need it done in a timely manner.
Yeah. Or like after the troglodytes abduct Deputy Nick and the young woman. Chicory comes kind of like running down there to the scene when they're investigating, and he's in like his shirt tails and long johns. Yeah. Like he's not fully dressed, and like, but he's there and ready to help.
Yeah,
like,
he's got his double barrel.
Yeah. And yeah, just like really the characters all feel very lived in. They all have a history, and ultimately are believable to their world, and that's why they're so easy to invest in.
Yeah, I think as far as, kind of back in the storytelling, writing and section, the character development and the dialogue in this movie is they're the strongest pieces of the movie. Yeah. Because I really enjoyed the characters, even the flawed ones I thought had some merits. Yeah. I also really I loved the dialogue. It was kind of like, it was fast, it was pitter patter, almost like, it kind of reminded me of Kevin Smith, but not as cheeky. It was more natural, but still not fully natural.
Yeah. I've seen Zahler compared to Tarantino a lot with his writing, and I think that is fair. It has that sort of rapid fire, back and forth feeling to it that's very similar to a Tarantino. He's very much a '90s guy, with his influences. And we get a lot of that sort of back and forth with the wife and
Mr. and Mrs. O'Dwyer.
Yeah, Arthur and Samantha.
Because she's the civilized one. She's a town, she's a learned woman.
She's a physician's assistant to a drunkard physician.
So she's the town doc.
She is and she occupies that level of respect. Because everyone knows, she's the one that's going to be tending to you because the doctor is unreliable.
Yeah, he's totally out, and that's the standard.
And she is the voice of reason through the whole movie. Her husband has a broken leg because he was up working on the roof in inclement weather and fell off, and she warned him against it. And
my wife warned me not to go on the roof and work on there, and I did, and I almost fell off. So this is
a thing. It's a real thing. Wives have good intuition about these things. You know, they don't want us to fall off the roof.
My brother fell off and broke his back. This was a few years ago.
Yeah.
And he had to have like spinal like fusion thing, you know, the whole deal.
The roof is no joke. The roof will get you.
We hire a service now because I can't be having a broken back like my brother.
Yeah, no way. And she has this like great line of dialogue when they get there to rescue her, and the sheriff and Chicory are captives of the troglodytes as well. And she's like, "You brought my husband here? He's injured." And they're like, well, ma'am, he insisted on coming. There was no stopping him. And she has almost like a little mini monologue about how the thing that makes the frontier hard is not the elements and it's not the Indians, it's the idiots. and it's
that's America still.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it's not the place. It's not it's the just these guys making bad decisions. Because, like, ultimately, what do? They're honor bound to go and rescue her, and she wants to be rescued.
Yeah,
it's not like she wants to die there.
Yeah, she definitely, didn't want her husband. I thought about this, like, while I was watching the outro of the movie. I was like, I mean, I'm sure she's glad that Mr. O'Dwyer rescued her.
Yeah,
she would chastise him for coming, but he's one of the few survivors, and he was actually the one that did most of the killing. So it's like, okay, you did the dumb, but it worked out.
It worked out. And it's like, and there's like this math of human lives that you're doing, because you lost kind of two of the pillars of their community in some way. Like, you lost a sheriff and you lost Mr. Bruder as well.
Yeah, who's kind of a town dandy and a gunslinger, but he always helps the sheriff.
And he's like... he's clearly the womanizer around town. Like, he's the good time Charlie in Free Home or whatever it's called.
And he's sort of recognized as probably the best fighter in the group. Yeah, he's the best gunman
and the most intelligent man. He informs us
absolutely,
and he's well traveled. He's been to Germany.
Yes,
and procured his special telescope.
Yeah, that little piece of characterization, how his telescope that he got in Hamburg, they keep calling it the German, because it's just so much better. Yeah,
and he's got his little, like, his Hamburg hat. Like, he's very fancy and like does seem a great deal more sophisticated than the people around him. Why the
hell was he living there?
Because he likes killing Indians.
I think that's true. He's on the frontier because that's where they're at.
Yeah,
he's a bad dude.
Ultimately, he's a complicated. He's a complicated character.
He's a traumatized man who's taking it out in an unhealthy.
Hurt people.
He's maladaptive.
I think there was a lot of that in the 19th century. I believe there was no well-adapted people.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think as far as themes go here, the obvious is civilization versus savagery, or decency versus indecency.
Right.
Because I think Mr. Bruder is a internal example of that. He's the fanciest and the most well-dressed and the most put together on the outside, but he's savage. Also the most savage and least moral of the group.
Yeah, and he straight up says that he's like, if you have a problem with my morals, we can discuss that later.
Yeah.
And it is there because they are in survival mode and they need him. They really are in no position to do anything about him behaving immorally in their eyes.
Yeah, they need him. They can't really do much about it. I mean, like, they point guns at him a couple times, but they weren't going to do anything about it.
It's a lost race trope, where you have this lost tribe or whatever that's not part of any known group. Manifest Destiny is a theme.
Oh yeah, they bring that.
They bring it up by name, and they really are. They're at the western edge and heading more west. Like this is a going west movie. they're heading west into the unknown.
Yeah, I mean, historically, the time periods that they didn't say the year.
Yeah.
That this movie was, but there were the guns in this movie were like there was a Remington 1890, so had to be at least 1890 in order for that gun to exist. But most of the other weapons, and then there's actually a Winchester Model 1892.
Yeah.
So the California was already a state.
I know that is. There's like no one knows what's west from there. It's like San Francisco, I would assume.
Yeah,
or,
the ocean and the railroad.
Yeah,
it's like we seriously by this point in history, the Transcontinental Railroad was already connected. You could take a railroad car from San Francisco to Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I mean, so it couldn't have been that primal savagery.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and I guess that is the idea. Kurt Russell said that he talked to Zahler and they placed the movie sometime between 1890 and 1905,
and that's good for their technology level.
Yeah, and it really is this sort of the last time of the frontier, like the last chance that some lost missing link tribe could still be out there.
Sure, yeah, an unknown band. Yeah, and then I guess the last I guess theme or I guess filmmaking trope that I would bring up is minimalism.
Yeah,
they did so little. It was made out of like the outdoor scenes and stuff were all at the Paramount Ranch.
Yeah,
and then there was a bunch of soundstage stuff, and this was done in 21 days. Beginning to end. 70
locations in 21 days, so it's a rapid fire.
Yeah, we got it in one.
Yeah, and everyone is there. Because these are all your principal. Like the top line of this movie is all people you have seen before. You know their names. You know them from things.
I mean, it's a Kurt Russell flick. He's known.
He's big on the poster.
Yeah.
Everyone is there because they love the script. Because I promise people are just making scale. They're just getting their union rate.
Yeah, nobody made squat off this movie.
They're just there because they want to make a Western, and the script was so good.
If you paid me my regular daily salary and or less to go and make a cowboy horror movie tomorrow, I would.
Yeah, totally.
Hell yeah,
yeah. Just to go out there and Paramount Ranch is a state or is a national park. Mm-hmm. So you can go there. You can go to this town, the town where they filmed, the Old West town that's out there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If they're not like in the middle of filming, you can go and go check out these buildings and hike all around. You can ride horses out there.
Now I want to go.
Yeah, and when you go to the Paramount Ranch website, it talks about the government shutdown. So there's not rangers and there's not the people.
You might find a lost tribe.
Yeah, you might get bushwhacked out there because the normal employees are not there to maintain order. Yeah, bummer. That stuff is messed up. But this is a resource to us as citizens of this country. We can go to this place.
Yeah, it's really cool. So let's talk. We sort of segued into visuals with the Paramount Ranch and how it's sort of this California desert scenes.
Yeah,
and it seemed scrubby. It seemed dry as hell. It was really moody.
They've shot so many things there over the years, like going back to the 1950s, like Bat Masterson and. Some of the old 50s westerns, and then in the 90s, like Dr. Quinn used to film out there. Oh. So the ranch itself does a lot of heavy lifting because it's like we've seen it so many times. When we see these buildings and we see this landscape, like we're in it. Like we're programmed.
Like, it's the Old West.
Yes, we're programmed to look at this place and be transported to that time and place.
Yes.
And it's just I think it's really effective. The cinematography is by Benji Bakshi, who's done a lot of TV work. And this, I don't know if this was his first feature film, but it's early on his IMDb. Very good cinematography.
I agree.
For someone who is not like a Roger Deakins, like not a big name cinematographer. He does a very good job. He's got that Western look down.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how it was kind of a straightforward camera style, minimal movement, very long takes.
Yeah, big wide shots.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how they allowed this movie to sort of rest in a lot of the scenes. You just have these big shots and you see the characters kind of far off. It just had a really good visual style to it. And then of course the practical effects in this movie were gnarly.
Yeah, so I believe it's a JMB FX studio that did the practical effects, did like the all of our troglodytes have like body piercings.
Yeah,
like,
they have body mods and all that.
Yeah, implanted bone structures. All of them have like a bone whistle in their windpipe.
Yeah.
And like some of like the chieftains have like boar's tusks embedded in their face, and they're very involved.
They're very primal.
Yeah, and then when Deputy Nick gets butchered,
yeah,
that is,
it's like
it's a pretty convincing visceral human butchery.
Yeah, it's like splitting a hog carcass or something. Yeah, it's really not nasty.
It's so bad. It's so gruesome, and the characters are reacting to it in real time. Like they're reacting sort of as you, the audience, are reacting. Everyone is horrified by what they're witnessing, and yeah, I think JMB knocked it out of the park as far as building a human carcass.
Yeah, it was really nasty watching that, but it did its work. It was visceral and it felt violent.
Yeah, and it really establishes the stakes. If we don't get out of here, this is everyone's future.
Yeah, we're food, and it won't be easy.
Yeah,
we're going down hard.
You're going down hard. Yes, and then you also have production design by Freddie Wolf and costume design by Chantel Filson. And I think all these things are working in concert with each other very well. The sets are dressed well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like the bar, the Educated Goat, I think is what it's called. We've probably in our lifetimes have seen that exact bar used in movies 100 times. But the Educated Goat had a personality all of its own.
Yeah, it felt like its own vibe. I really enjoyed that. I feel like they were able to capture a lot of atmosphere.
Yeah,
they did a lot with a little, and it felt like this was really a labor of love. There was a lot of people that put a lot of effort into making this movie just have these really dark Western vibes.
Yeah. And everyone's costume tells a story too. I feel like you get a piece of people's history by looking at what they're wearing and what their personality is like. It's all, despite being a very low budget movie, it's all very well considered. Like they've squeezed the most value out of the money that they're spending on this stuff.
Yeah, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to get good quality Western wear like that. There are companies that you can just buy it online, and I have for various like LARPs and things, and it's pretty high quality. Like you can get a whole outfit, like the clothes, everything minus basically the boots for any one of these characters would be less than $500.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could do a lot with a little because of the availability of this sort of, 120-year-old fashion is just, you can get it.
You can just get it, yeah. And there's an interesting thing with productions in Southern California and LA County specifically, like close to Hollywood. It is only ultra low budget movies and ultra high budget movies that film in California. Everything in the middle films in Vancouver or
Canada,
Atlanta or in England or
Jordan.
Yeah, or Romania, like Croatia, a lot of Eastern Europe. A lot of movies get filmed over there. But it's very strange because everything, like Hollywood used to be the heart of production, and now it's only like micro budget movies and like big budget movies.
Well, it's the taxes. If taxes don't matter because you're so rich, that's fine. Or if the taxes are less than the travel expenses because you're so poor.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one or the other.
Yeah, and so I think this really, because it really benefits from being in California and from the atmosphere that brings and the availability, like you're saying, of the talent, like the right sort of people to be your extras and things like that.
And they probably didn't even have to spend that kind of money on the wardrobe. They probably just rented it from a wardrobe company for 3 weeks.
Exactly. Just like we're paying to use the ranch for 21 days. We're renting these costumes for this many days. People like Kurt Russell, who have been making Westerns since they were little kids, have stuff.
Oh, sure. I'm sure he shows up in his own period-appropriate boots that are comfortable and broken in.
Yeah. It's like, I've shot a lot of movies in these, and these work for me. You know, like Harrison Ford's boots in Indiana Jones. He wore his own work boots. He's like, I think this is what he would wear. You know, like that's a real thing.
Boots are kind of a personal thing. You don't want to be breaking in boots at work.
No, you don't. Yeah. And so, a lot of value is got from that, from the talent and from the place where they're at.
Yeah, for sure.
Should we move on to audio?
Yeah, so this is really interesting. The reason I knew that this guy, S. Craig Zahler, was in a couple of bands and whatnot, how he's a drummer and a lyricist and a vocalist and whatnot, is because I noticed that he and his creative partner, Jeff Harriet, did the score for this, and they performed it, and they collaborated with some various people, but I thought that was really cool.
Yes, and it's a banger of a score. I've listened to it a bunch.
Yeah, and it doesn't overkill the movie. They let it breathe, and for a musician director to not overuse his own music, that took some restraint.
Yeah,
mad respect.
It's the total. Call it pulling a carpenter.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's cheaper this way.
You make your own score, and then you don't have to pay yourself a second time. And him and Jeff Harriet, they're the Binary Reptile is the name of their twosome, their Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross collaboration.
His screen name is cool, or his performance name is cool because Zahler goes by Czar, and Harriet goes by J.H. Halberd.
That's
pretty
name.
Cool. I
that's
like both of their names, Czar and Halberd. That's a good combo.
And they've done like 4 scores together for films. So probably
all of his films
plus one.
Yeah.
But it's really good. It's very
the 2 Charnel Valley albums are these guys.
So they are Charnel Valley as well as Binary Reptile.
Yep.
Are they also Realm Builder?
I didn't get that.
You didn't get that far. Yeah. Very talented musicians. The score is super melancholic, and it's like a lot of strings, like cello and violin, and it's just super somber. And that the song "For Doomed Men Ride Out" that plays over the credits, that has like the kind of cheesy Western, like it tells the story of the movie lyrics. As silly and outdated as that sort of song seems like, it works for the movie and total earworm. Like, it's stuck in my head.
Yeah. Oh, I got it. The Czar and Halberd are Realm Builder.
They're also Realm Builder.
Yes, also Realm Builder.
Okay. So, they are the Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Yeah, they do power metal, they do black metal, they do film scores. I'm into it.
Yeah, I mean, and they're good. Like, and also good. Like, it's not just that they do it, but like,
I will say,
I would listen to this score. I've listened to it like a half a dozen times today.
The score for this movie and the Charnel Valley stuff I like, but I was not into the Realm Builder stuff.
The power metal,
the fake keyboard horns. I was just like, oh, pass.
Yeah, I wonder, because he's also written fantasy novels. I wonder if the Realm Builder stuff sort of accompanies his fantasy novels. I bet it does.
I mean, it's still well written. They made choices.
They made choices you didn't like.
Yeah.
And then the sound design is by Roland Vahas. And like you said, the score doesn't overpower the movie, and the sound design fills in those spaces in between.
Yeah, and it's tastefully done, and it punctuates what needs to be punctuated. Horror movies and Western movies are well-traveled roads. You don't need to reinvent the wheel for sound design.
No, you kind of just need to push the buttons. You know what I mean? Like, so that people we're programmed, especially in America. I think we're programmed with these tropes and these things. And if you just sort of play the chords for us, we do the rest of the work in our heads. Like we get there on our own.
We're definitely conditioned.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you feel about the sound design of the troglodyte's bone whistle in the neck?
At first, it was a little jarring, but then when it was revealed, I was like, "Oh, that's like a weird supernatural sound." But then it was revealed that it's a bellowing yell, but they have a bone whistle lodged, implanted, pierced into their esophagus, their trachea.
Yeah.
Okay, it makes sense now, because that's the part that didn't make sense to me, was the higher register of the scream.
It has almost like a harmony that it's doing. Like, you hear the human yell.
Bellowing dude.
Yeah.
And then there's like this screeching over top.
Yeah.
And it's the whistle.
It's the whistle in the trachea.
And I thought, oh, okay, that's cool, actually.
And it is something like would freak you the fuck out if you were out just kind of at the Paramount Ranch hiking through the canyon, and you just hear that sound. That's scary. It's a scary sound.
I have one of those like death whistles.
Oh yeah.
Someone got it for me when I first became a PE coach. They were like, "Oh, you need a whistle. Here's a death whistle."
Yeah.
And so I have that, and that's exactly what this sounded like. It sounded like a scream with the death whistle at the same time.
Okay.
So
yeah, effective.
Yeah, it was cool.
But it is, you're right, though. The first time you see one of them do it, you're like, I don't know if I like this.
Yeah, I was like, what the?
Yeah.
And then I got it.
Yeah, when Bruder is poking the corpse and
like,
the throat's whistling, you're like, oh, they've got a bone. The bone is a theme that comes up a lot.
Yeah. And
Tomahawk.
they use weapons of bone. They have bone implants. It's weird.
Yeah. I guess we're into performances. We've talked a little about it, but let's go back over our cast.
I mean, Kurt Russell's the lead, and Kurt Russell is a classic, amazing Western actor. Yeah. Like, he's so good.
Yeah, and this is we've talked about this several times over the last few podcasts. Playing to type and playing against type. Mm-hmm. It takes nothing at all to accept Kurt Russell as Frontier Sheriff. Mm-hmm. Like, you just see him and you're like, that's Wyatt Earp. I know who this guy is. Like, and you just having Kurt Russell with the mustache with the tin star, that does 90% of the lifting for this character. You know exactly who this guy is. Yeah,
it's immediately believable, and he does a great job. I mean, I don't think we need to belabor that too much, because if you haven't seen like his other Westerns, like Tombstone and whatnot, you should go watch those.
Yeah, also good movies. Yeah. Patrick Wilson is Arthur O'Dwyer.
I like Patrick Wilson. He's decent. I didn't like Arthur O'Dwyer, but it wasn't that it was a bad performance. I just thought it was annoying.
He is a frustrating man.
Yeah.
He's stubborn, and like the frustration of Arthur, he goes off by himself to go and change his bandage because he's kind of too proud to be seen in this vulnerable state, but it builds a distrust between the group and him because they think he's going off to nip at the morphine that he's got in his pocket.
I mean, yeah, I don't know why he didn't just let Chicory look at it from the beginning, but he just didn't trust
it's just
Chicory.
It's just that stupid pride. He has a pride problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just him going on this mission is a problem of pride because he's not physically up to doing it, despite the fact he perseveres and does save the day.
Yeah.
He should not have gone on this. He should not have gone on the roof. He should have read her the letter before, like when she asked him to read the letter he sent her when he was out on the range with the other cowboys, but he was too embarrassed to read it. Like, his pride constantly leads him to do stupid things or holds him back.
Yeah, and he's a cowboy, like a real cowboy. He drives cattle across the land, and he's often away from home. And so, like, this really is a cowboy movie. Yeah. And I thought that the character was believable, that he was proud and he was foolish, but he ultimately, he came through. So I thought Patrick Wilson's performance was really good.
Yeah, but the character Arthur is a little annoying. Yeah. But yeah.
Matthew Fox as John Bruder. We talked a bit about him. He's like the fancy guy who hates. He's just racist against everybody.
Yeah, the dandy racist.
Yeah.
He is a fascinating character. Like, he is he's ultimately very charming.
He's like an aristocratic gunslinger.
Yeah, and he wins you over despite all of the reasons you would have to hate him. You are moved when he ultimately sacrifices himself. He's like, give me a stick of dynamite, and basically I'm going to take as many of them with me as I can because he's mortally wounded, and like, you honor his sacrifice. You feel bad for him. Yeah,
because he's funny and he's charming. He's also extremely smart and competent. Like, he has like the alarm bell chain that he strings across, and he's really good at what he does. He's just kind of morally gray, but in the end he dies sort of heroically. So maybe that's redemption.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not because he was spitefully killing more natives. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
and that is like ultimately, as much as the movie kind of wants us to completely dehumanize the troglodytes and think of them as something other than. I don't think he thinks of them as something other than. I think he just thinks they're more natives.
Yeah.
Like, it's just more notches on his belt of his crusade against them.
Yeah, so when I was first, tangent, when I was first starting to watch this movie, and the opener is, like a couple of criminals, not the main characters, and they're, they're out in the wood, out in the scrub, and
they're bushwhacking their party.
And it was like, it opened hard, like it's grim, and then they kind of encounter these troglodytes, but they don't call them that. I was thinking, oh, who are these people? What are they? Like, oh, that's crazy. I wonder if they're like some sort of remnant Donner Party that maybe takes people in and like forces them into their ranks. Maybe they're a cannibal outlaw group. Maybe they're a group of just total degens that are just so bad that they're cannibals. All of those sort of just spitball ideas I just threw out would have been better than having them be ultra savage brown people.
Yeah, and let's just talk. We'll just kind of run through them real quick. Ra Liba as Wolf Skull, Gino Sagers as Boar Tusk, Eddie Spears as Serrated Tomahawk, Alex Miraz as Eagle Skulls, and Jay Tavare as Sharp Teeth. And I think David Midthunder is in there as well, as one of them. All Native American actors, or almost all Native American actors. So it's not like they're not they went out of their way to cast Native American actors in these roles. Essentially, they could have cast people of other ethnicities or all ethnicities, and sort of, really, because if they're not human or whatever, it doesn't really matter the ethnicity of the people playing them. But they did cast almost all Native actors to play them.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's a choice, and they are ultimately portraying like an aberrant tribe of Native Americans.
Yeah, and at this point, like, it's like you had decades upon decades, like 50, 60, 70, maybe even 80 years, that you could have had a band of literally anyone,
like you said, like the Donner Party. Like if they are a group that resorted to cannibalism and they've been isolated and
they just
and they've been inbreeding,
and
like the Hills Have Eyes, like
that's literally what
mutant hillbillies.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was basically California or like Mormon Trail people or something like that. People gone savage, gone cannibal. And I thought that it was less. That would have been
less
more
problematic,
and it would have been more logical.
Yeah, that's true too.
It would have had an origin, not just, oh yeah, we've always known about those guys. They're the baddies.
Yeah, none of the good tribes deal with them. They're troglodytes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that was our buddy Zahn McClarnon,
who's in like a million things.
And essentially his character, the professor, comes in there to give this plausible deniability to the movie. Like, he's like, I'm here as a Native American to tell you
those people are not Native Americans.
Those people don't count.
They're not us. There's something else.
There's something else. Kill at your leisure. It's okay. It's morally uncomplicated. So where were we? Brooder.
We were just about at Richard Jenkins as Chicory.
Deputy, or not deputy. Backup deputy Chicory.
Yes, I love that they call him backup deputy because it develops the character just that much more.
Yeah. He's a sheriff now, I assume.
Yeah, they're going to need a sheriff, but he'll suffice for now.
Maybe
Mr. O'Dwyer will become sheriff.
Acting sheriff until the next sheriff shows up. You could do worse than Arthur O'Dwyer as sheriff, probably.
Yeah, I think he needs to stop going out on the range and stay there with his wife because he almost lost her and she's a catch.
Yeah, I don't think you'd ever leave her side again after this.
Yeah.
Like, it would be, the two of them would be inseparable. Yeah, I kind of thought this guy was going to annoy me kind of right at the beginning. But he won me over so early on, and I was really dreading his inevitable death through the whole movie. And then when he's part of the final group that makes it out, and I was like, holy shit. Chicory made it through the whole movie. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
he final girled it.
Absolutely. Like, I never thought Chicory would be the final one.
Yeah.
I never thought he would be the guy. When it all started and you're assembling the party, I was like, okay, Sheriff Hunt, he's the dude. I really like him. He's great. Next, I love John Bruder because I fancy myself a bit of a fancy man.
Yeah.
And so I like that. But then as you go, and I'm like, okay, O'Dwyer's a cowboy. He's kind of a dick. Don't like him much anyway.
Yeah.
And Chicory's an idiot. And then you learn, you're like, oh no. He's not an idiot. He's just kind of a traumatized guy, but he's actually like ultra competent and unfailingly loyal. He is like your best friend. If this guy is your buddy, you're good forever.
Yeah, and he's a widower, and like we get the good scene with him visiting his wife's grave.
Yeah,
and he's like
very touching
before he heads off, and he's like, either I'll see you back here, or I'll see you up there. Yeah, and you're like, oof, and you're like, it's gonna be up there. There's no way this old man lives. You totally see that.
His comic relief and kind of his wisdom drops are just they're everything.
Yeah, and then when he parts ways with the sheriff, ultimately the sheriff.
Moment.
And the sheriff says, he's like, I'll say hi to your wife you say goodbye to mine.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, it's tough. These poor people.
Yeah. And so I thought that was a really great performance. Then, I mean, those are the big ones. And then we have like Lily Simmons as Samantha O'Dwyer, who's like the town doctor by default.
Yeah. As you said, she's a catch, educated woman, physician's assistant, the only person with reasonable intelligence anywhere around.
Yeah, she's the smartest person in the town, like, bar none.
Yeah, and, like, you get this sense, she's very frustrated with the sheriff because this is not the first time the sheriff has shot someone in the leg.
Yeah, that's like his go-to.
It's his go-to, and...
It's not a bad go-to.
You know, to his defense, he's thinking, Frontier Sheriff, most people would shoot in the head.
Yeah.
I shoot him in the leg, and... Yeah,
and then they get to hang them.
Yeah, and then they get a trial and a hanging, and you know their victims' families can come and witness their hanging. He's trying to he's trying to become more civilized, but she's just like, you got to stop shooting people in the leg. This is this is untenable. Like the whole town,
she's just so tired of
everyone in town has a limp.
We got Evan Longiquette as Deputy Nick, who gets completely bisected. It's so gnarly.
Pour one out for Deputy Nick, split from tutor to rooter.
That was so nasty.
And I love how Nick gives his debrief while being scalped. Like he's just like he has to report to the sheriff and tell him everything that's happened.
Yeah, how many there are and all that.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, Nick is on the job.
That's a good deputy.
To the last second. Yeah, that's why he's the deputy,
the real deputy,
and not the backup.
Yeah,
to the deputy.
He wasn't a bad deputy. He just got unlucky. David Arquette was Purvis, the criminal guy.
David Arquette and Sid Haig was his partner buddy. A couple scumbags out bushwhacking people,
and they were fun.
Yeah, they were fun, and like that's a whole movie. You know what
those
I mean?
Two guys, like the bungling adventures of Purvis and Buddy.
Yeah, you could easily do 22 episodes of that.
People would just be like, "What the fuck, Buddy?"
Yeah, and
but Buddy was the smart one.
Buddy was the smart one, and there's so much character in them. Like Purvis, like immediately, like when they start entering into the cannibal territory, and he sees the bones, and he sees the graveyard and everything, and he's like, all these things are just do not enter. Yeah, like he's like, we should turn around, and Buddy's just like, no, we got guns, it's fine. And it wasn't fine. No. It wasn't fine for them. But so I don't know. Buddy was not probably the smart one.
No, yeah, you're right. He was overconfident.
Yeah.
And then it's just like so many people, you know, like
Sean
this
Young
person's
is
wife,
Mrs. Porter, the acting mayor. She's the mayor's wife, but she's the one that runs the town.
Catherine Morris as Lorna Hunt, the sheriff's wife.
Yeah. That was actually low key. A nice scene. Low key, a very good performance.
Yeah, she tells him to come back.
And I already mentioned all of our troglodytes. So yeah, we can move on. We can move on to the personal highlights. Yeah. What's your personal highlight?
So I mean, I think that Richard Jenkins' performance as Chicory is the highlight of the movie for me. He is the emotional core of this movie, in my opinion. And you already kind of spoiled it. When that moment when he had it with when the sheriff says to him, he says, "Say goodbye to my wife. I'll say hello to yours." That quote is the quote of the movie.
Yeah.
And he lives that moment between those guys. So Chicory gets to live, and he goes back to town. The guy whose wife is gone.
Yeah.
But then the guy whose wife is still alive, he doesn't get to live. He stays and has the hero's end. He's like, bring me that repeater.
Yeah.
And he's just going to take him out. And that thing will hold like 14 rounds.
Yeah.
So it's going to be over. So I thought that moment between those two characters, but specifically that performance as Deputy Chicory, was I upgraded him to deputy.
And sheriff. He is acting sheriff.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
And so that's my personal highlight. How about you?
Yeah, we are of an accord. I agree. Richard Jenkins' performance as backup deputy Chicory is the highlight of the movie. The comic relief, I think, is essential due to the grimness of the story.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't for him sort of lightening the mood so often and just like his observations, like he's like, I wonder if my horse will like Mexican food.
I mean, and there's a moment between him and Bruder when they're getting on their horses and Bruder looks at Chicory's horse. He goes, that is not a handsome animal. And Chicory just stares daggers at him.
Yeah, and like Bruder makes this comment about not letting a Latino person ride on his horse would not let a slur ride on her back, and he goes, trained her in bigotry, you did.
Yeah, I mean Chicory just calls it out.
Yeah, so yes, Chicory, Richard Jenkins was absolutely the highlight of the movie for me. What worked for you?
I think that S. Craig Zahler's witty dialogue and writing. I think that this like all of those really funny, witty exchanges that made this movie not just a total downer,
not a slog.
Yeah, that's just good writing. That's just 100% skillful screenwriting. And so like I thought that was the number one thing. After that, I thought the casting was amazing. Kurt Russell, Richard Jenkins, the highlights. And then lastly, this movie did not flinch away from violence and contextualized horror, but it wasn't random.
Yeah.
It was all couched in the story. Like even when Bruder guns down those Mexican folk, it played into his character. It developed his character.
Yeah. And
we understand him. And then we understand not only is he a bigot, but also those guys were thieves. He did call it right, but he didn't do it because they were thieves. He did it because they might be thieves.
Yeah. Which is immoral, but also keeps you alive. Which is like he says, if you have a problem with my morals, we'll discuss it later.
Yeah, so I thought that those things, the way that the violence and the horror of the movie was portrayed it wasn't like a Saw movie.
Yeah, where it's not torture porn.
Yeah, it's just like, oh man, and you totally know why everything is happening. Yeah, and I thought that was so well done. What about you? What worked for you?
Yeah, a lot of the same things. The cast, just powerhouse talent. Probably. If this movie wasn't stacked with recognizable actors the way it is, probably it doesn't get made. Like, I'm sure their funding was based on the fact we've got Kurt Russell and Patrick Wilson, people that lead movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, your foreign money is going to come in and be like, yes, here we'll give you this much money, and we'll sell this in Russia and everywhere else. The locations, the Paramount Ranch does so much heavy lifting because of our familiarity with these vistas, with this town.
It's beautiful.
It's just sort of like the same thing with Kurt Russell. You know Kurt Russell as the sheriff. You know this town. You know what this town is about as soon as you see it. So I think that's really effective. And then the score. I like Binary Reptile's score. Jeff Harriet and S. Craig Zahler.
Czar and Halberd.
Yeah, just so you know. Czar and Halberd use their stage names. Yeah, they really just consolidate this down and have one Nine Inch Nails name for the whole thing.
They could call it like Zalbred.
Yeah, that works. And do all your projects under that rather than have like 3 separate projects. It's inefficient, but it's very metal to do it that way.
To have a million side projects.
Yeah. Like I said, Zahler pulls a Carpenter, makes his own score, and just like Carpenter scores, I really like it. Like it is a score I would listen to. You sent me some stuff to read, and I've been listening to this score while I read the stuff that you wrote. And it works with that because
I can definitely imagine that. Same vibes.
It's got that tone, and so it's just a really good score. Like it's something totally listenable on its own beyond the movie.
Awesome.
What didn't work for you?
So I had a few things.
Yeah.
This movie was a deliberately languid pace, the way it was edited. They do not rush to get anywhere. They do not shy away from a long form scene that's just dialogue about men arguing about pointless things while they're on the trail.
Yeah.
Now, I found it to be very interesting. I'm very interested in this genre.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed every minute of it, but it was 132 minutes. And I think that it was not commercially successful. I think that had they made like a 95-minute, more peppy edit, that this would not have been, this would have been enjoyed by more people. The pacing was too slow for a casual audience. If you are a Western and horror enthusiast, which is a small section of Western and a small section of horror people, then this pace is fine.
Yeah.
But it's not fine for the general public. Secondly, I don't like their choices when it came to the troglodytes. I stylistically, creatively, I would not have run them. Like, I run a lot of role-playing games. I wouldn't even run role-playing bad guys like this. It's just too racist. And it's also just...
You would actually make them monsters.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to go that road, you have them be orcs
or just like demonic cult guys or something or whatever. Like, it was so weird, this decision. My ideas of having them be a Donner Party-esque inbred, weird, isolated, hyper isolated group is better than what they came up with. And I just think that that was a weird choice. It was a thing that just, it stuck with me through the whole end of it. And I also I hated seeing the two female troglodytes.
Oh yeah, which we just get a run by of them as they're
crippled, like quadruped. They've had their limbs cut off, and they're pregnant, and they have their eyes gouged out, and it's just like, it's absolutely horrific and completely unnecessary.
It is. I would say it's like the cherry on top of a sundae, but it is like one atrocity more as you're
because
leaving.
All the violence is done. You already won, and so what are you doing? You leaving them there? They're gonna die of dehydration in a few days.
That was my thought.
Because you killed everyone.
Like, not understand. You can't carry them out of there, right? So it's understandable you're not going to rescue them.
Well, they also have no life to live.
Yes. It seems like a final cruelty to just leave them there, like, and not dispatch them on the way out, or to not show us this at all. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't need to see that. The inhumanity of the troglodytes has already been well established.
Yeah, it was completely unnecessary. So I guess that that all goes into one bullet point of, I thought the troglodytes were weirdly handled.
Yes.
So what about you?
Yeah, well, I'll just expand on that a little bit more. I think Zahler wants to have his cake and eat it too, and to have the evil savage Indians and also explain away why it's okay, because they're not really Indians. And I don't think it's really successful. You have to want to accept his explanation. It doesn't hold up scrutiny.
Absolutely.
Like, if you put the magnifying glass on it, it just doesn't hold up. It is the thinnest of veil of cover as far as, like, it's not racist because they're troglodytes. And it just, like, the more it sat with me, the more it bothered me. And I don't know, like my favorite movie of all time is King Kong.
Ooh.
And King Kong also deals in this sort of like white woman stolen by savages trope.
Yes.
And it's deeply problematic, and there's just no way to watch that movie. It's like without seeing the inherent racism in it. But that's a movie from 1933. It's not a movie from 2015.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
it was a different time 10 years ago.
Yeah.
No,
it was not. Yeah, it's just
not.
It's not nearly long enough ago. And so whenever I see commentators, particularly people of color, that are like, how did this movie get made in 2015? I have to agree with them. I have to be like, yeah, I do. None of your observations are wrong.
I think if you're if you're anybody, but particularly if you're a middle-aged white man and you're creating media, be it a podcast, a movie, you're writing a book, you're doing whatever, you have to think, what's this look like from the perspective of a woman, a person of color, marginalized person? If you don't think that at all, like, how's this going to be accepted? What does this look like? What does it say about me, the way I portrayed them? Because I'm from the dominant socioeconomic class and racial group. What does that say about me? Then you just aren't living in 2025.
Yeah, like, that's a really good way to put it. Because, like, so say you made this movie and you think, like, I'm going to show this to my Native American friend.
And who is also a woman. Let's see what they think.
What are they going to think about it? Yeah, like, and
because the only Native women in the movie
are
horrific,
are brutalized. Yeah. And so I mean, we're in total agreement on that. So that
and I don't want to I don't think being decent needs to be said. And this isn't something like virtue signaling that people like to villainize. It's literally just being a person who doesn't want to like shit on other people.
Yeah.
It's not virtue signaling. It's just decency.
And it's what we're talking about, because talking about King Kong and talking about, I recently watched a little tangent here, watched Chief of War on Apple with Jason Momoa. And I was thinking about how even in like the Peter Jackson version of King Kong, the natives are portrayed very badly. And it's like, I want to see some sort of version of the islanders closer to Chief of War, where it's not shying away from brutality or villainy or anything like that, but they're portrayed as full, complex human beings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like not portrayed in this like inhuman, savage, other sort of way. Like, I want to see a version of that.
That's one of the things, not to toot the horn of someone who people don't really like, Tyler Sheridan. If you've ever watched Yellowstone, the native people in that show are really complex. They're like real. And one of them is married, one of the Duttons, married to one of the Duttons. And so that portrays them as like real people with flaws, but also good characteristics. It's like, I think that that's a good example of how it can be done, even if they're an adversary. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, there is conflict and there is moral, like, there's good and bad people. Like, there's but humanity is key. I think almost in dehumanizing the troglodytes and trying to make them something subhuman, it actually becomes even worse when you examine it more closely. It literally would have been better if they were Sasquatches. Yeah, if they were ape people. Yeah, totally. Just Sasquatches or whatever. Yeah, it would have been better. And then when the professor comes in and says like, "Oh, those are troglodytes," my vote actually would have been werewolves. Yeah. That would work too, even if they were native werewolves, but they were ultimately monsters. They were werewolves. Okay, so we've gone all around on this movie. Yeah. This is going to be tough. Final thoughts and rating. This is super hard because it's flawed. There's deep flaws in this movie, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So it's like, if if I'm rating it for like overall quality for regular people, it's probably a 3-star movie. If I'm rating it for how much did I like it, it's definitely a 4-star movie. So since this is not regular people's podcast, but my podcast, I'm going to give it a 4-star.
Okay.
I really liked it.
Yeah. I also gave it 4 stars.
Okay. Because you also really liked it.
I also really liked it. And ultimately, I was like, I was fully in the 4-star camp.
Yeah.
And then I started kind of picking at it, and I kind of talked myself...
Like the last 25 minutes.
Yes, exactly. And then I kind of talked myself down to a 3, a moral 3. I can't go higher than this. And then I was like, but I really feel like it's much better than that. Like, the quality of the filmmaking and the acting and the cinematography and the music, everything together is better than a 3.
It's absolutely insane that one of the biggest strengths of this movie is the writing, and one of the biggest weaknesses of this movie is the writing.
What
the hell?
It is. It's wild.
He's great at dialogue. He needs a creative partner.
You need someone.
We'll do it for consulting.
I feel like this movie seems racist. Can we back it up? It's like, well, I'm going to start with you casting Vince Vaughn and Mel Gibson in your leads. Deeply problematic individuals. Yeah.
I mean, there are people in Hollywood, literally sensitivity consultants, that would have told him this had they spent the, what, 10 grand? Whatever.
Yeah. No, he doesn't have time for that. So ultimately, what I did, as I often do, is I referred to my beloved Empire magazine, and I was like, if Empire magazine gave it a 4, I'll stand by my 4.
Gotcha.
And if Empire magazine gave it a 3, I will go with the 3.
Oh, man.
And they went with the 4, and that was all the cover I needed.
Okay.
Like my thin veil, like the professor came in and said, it's okay. They're not us. And so Empire Magazine said, it's okay. It's a 4-star movie. It's just deeply problematic.
Yeah,
so that's where I landed.
The world is with us for the most part. IMDb gives it 7.1. Rotten Tomatoes, 91%. Prime Video, this was new that it came up in my thing, 7.1 out of 10. And Google user reviews, 82%.
Yeah.
So it's like high 3, low 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're right on it because it's really enjoyable. Like, if you get right down to it, I like this movie.
Yeah, it's a very good Western. This was totally... I often think when I'm watching movies, because I used to watch a lot of videos with my parents, this is the movie my dad would have loved. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I was
absolutely.
Like, he would be so locked in with this through the whole thing. Even through, like, the brutal stuff at the end, he would have been so... like, and the noble sacrifice. Mm-hmm. The jokes... 100% of everything in this movie would have worked for him.
Yeah, I agree. This is a movie made for dudes.
It's a total dad movie.
Yeah. All right, let's roll the music and we'll come back with the Vault of Darkness.
Before we delve into the Vault of Darkness, we ask that all initiates of the cult follow us on your favorite social media platforms at Nightshade Cult.
If you've enjoyed this content, help us grow the cult by sharing it with like-minded people and leave us a review wherever you listen.
Any dark tidings?
I don't have any dark tidings, but I did forget to bring something up that about when I was researching this movie that I think maybe there might be 1 or 2 cultists that are interested in it like me.
Okay.
You may have noticed that I was right on it with the firearm information from this movie. I found a website called the IMFDB, the Internet Movie Firearms Database, that goes and details the exact models of every gun used in different movies, with screenshots from the movie and then pictures of the gun itself, etc., which you may not care that much, but if you're a Western enthusiast, having the right models and technology level of the era is absolutely huge, because had they set this movie in 1867 or 68, cap and powder sleeve revolvers. So it would have been an entirely different movie. But of course, that doesn't play well in Hollywood. So I was curious what guns they were using in this movie. I wanted to call out Sheriff Hunt's Schofield revolvers because I'm a big fan of that.
Okay.
That weapon. Anyway, I wanted people to know that website exists, and I think it's cool.
Interesting. All right, I'll include a link to that. That's funny.
Yeah. Let's roll for initiative and see who's going to lead off with the Vault of Darkness.
Okay.
17.
Oh, I got a 3, so you go first.
All right. Well, I have been reading or listening to an Audible audiobook that is a dark Western. And okay. I thought, okay, this is cool. It's almost like a dark folk Americana. It's in a similar, I think it's about 1880. It is called Red Rabbit, and it's by Alex Grecian.
Okay.
And this is an interesting story that is that it takes place kind of in the it's like in Kentucky and surrounding states, and it's about witchcraft, and it's about like strange happenings. It's definitely Weird West. There's like a shape-shifting guy who can turn into a wolf, and there's a witch, of course, who can do crazy amounts of different things. And then there are these people who are called witch masters, that are like American witch hunters, and they're literally using like counter hexing, and it's not told in a kind of a gamified lit RPG manner. It's told in a very details light, folksy story style discussion of these supernatural powers, and it's very folklore heavy. And it's just incredibly interesting. The prose, it likes to really stretch its legs and really kind of draw out a scene and really think about it, really talk about it. And I just really enjoy it. It's not like a barn burner of a pace, but it's like a slow creeping, extremely dark, ominous story that keeps like unfurling itself. And I'm almost done with it, and I really like this book. And it's this Weird West kind of American folksy Western, and I really like it. It's very cool. I definitely recommend checking out Red Rabbit by Alex Grecian. I'm gonna check out this dude's other books because this is really well done. It's not in a series; it's a one-off. And I'm sure he's got other things that I'm gonna like.
Yeah, I have not read his graphic novel Proof. But I've definitely heard positive things about it. Yeah, interesting.
And okay. This one was recommended to me by our buddy Ed.
Okay.
It passes the "is this grimdark and bleak" test.
Oh, you know what? I bet that is why it sounds so familiar to me, is because he probably told me to check this out, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll get on that. And then
I actually did.
Just slipped out of my mind immediately afterwards. Not out of any sort of
because he recommends a lot of things.
Yeah, and it's just...
He's a great sharer.
It comes, sometimes when it's like you're on the road or whatever, and someone gives you this, hey, check this thing out, and you have all the intention of getting back to it, and then it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, dark American folklore set in the late 1800s. It's definitely right up my alley. So what about you? What are you pulling out of the vault?
Okay, so two things. First off, I'll just get this out of the way because we talked about the 13th Warrior on our Predator episode a few episodes back, but I didn't actually include it in the show notes. And this movie made me think, or this movie that we just watched, Bone Tomahawk, made me think a lot about the 13th Warrior.
Yeah.
Because it has a similar sort of...
kind of troglodyte people.
Troglodyte cannibal tribe that they're battling with. And it seems like there's some common DNA between the two stories. So just real quick, the 13th Warrior is based on the Michael Crichton novel Eaters of the Dead, and it's a mashup of Ahmed ibn Fadlan's 10th century account of a Viking funeral.
I have that book upstairs.
And the Beowulf myth. He's like, what if Ibn Fadlan joined up with those Rus Vikings and then went immediately into the Beowulf story? And that's just a really fun movie, really cool action movie.
Absolutely.
And we already recommended it a few episodes ago, but I'm reiterating that.
I almost feel like we need to do that one at some point when we have a gap.
Yeah, I think so. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed that movie when it came out, and it's been a long time since I watched it.
Yeah.
But the thing, my true recommendation for The Vault of Darkness is the 2010 Coen Brothers readaptation of True Grit.
It's so good.
It's not a remake of the John Wayne movie. It is a new adaptation of Charles Portis's 1968 novel, starring Jeff Bridges and Haley Atwell in what was her theatrical film debut. And she was incredible even then as a little girl. She was a great actor. And it's a very similar sort of Western Odyssey. It's like a get from here to there, get the bad guys that did the bad thing sort of movie. Somber, moody, harrowing, just like a really strong sort of Western Odyssey.
Yeah, I like that they did that based on the book rather than an adaptation of the movie.
Yeah.
Because if you do a search and you're looking for the best Western novels of all time, that's on the list.
True Grit's up there. Yeah.
It's definitely mentioned in most best of lists.
Yeah, and I mean, just me as a person, I prefer Jeff Bridges to John Wayne. So like that's an upgrade to me when you put the dude in there.
If you're a fan of Westerns, you've probably seen a lot of John Wayne movies, and he just plays John Wayne.
He's a movie star, not an actor.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Jeff Bridges is both. Honestly, he's a great actor, but also a movie star. He's sort of like, you do sort of know what you're getting with a Jeff Bridges performance the same way you do with a Kurt Russell. But he brings a lot of depth and pathos to every performance.
Absolutely. I think he's amazing.
Yeah. So my recommendation, my pull from The Vault of Darkness is the 2010 True Grit.
We'd like to thank you for joining the Nightshade Cult.
Until we meet again, we're wishing you unpleasant dreams.